Hey, this is Shane with Houston Building Repair Company. Today we're working on an estimate for a furniture store that had a fire on the outside of the building on a pop-out area that had the furniture store's sign on it. Evidently, there was some dirt with some weeds next to the sidewalk there, and it caught on fire. Kind of burned up the front of the building there because it had a wood framed inset where the store sign was. So we went out there, we checked it out, and put together what we needed to do to get that fixed. So you're going to see, the first thing you're going to see a bunch of steel framing that's still hanging there after the fire department went there to put everything out, kind of rip things down. And you're going to see behind that steel framing is still some sheetrock. There's a big damaged circle looking area on that sheetrock. So what's going to have to happen is all of that sheetrock is going to have to be torn out. All the framing that's left that you see hang on the building there that's exposed, all that will have to be removed. That brown area on the top with the metal cap and the squares that you can see. You can see through the building there. All that will have to be removed. And then our guys are going to have to come in there and then put new sheetrock like on the wall, and then go ahead and put the steel frame back what was there with the steel framing, which was actually two different 2x6 steel framing, and they're actually stacked one against the wall, and then there's a spacer, and then there's another one because that section of the building actually pops out about 18 inches, and it's going to. And I'm putting a picture up there. You're going to see what the original building looked like on the front, and you can see that there's a squared out wood area in the middle where, of course, the store logo was. So we'll go ahead and frame everything around, everything back there in the steel stud framing, and then that middle section will be framed out and recoated out in wood so they can go ahead and put their sign back in there. And then once the steel framing gets on there, we're going to go ahead and put 5/8 sheetrock on top of that steel framing, and then on top of that we're going to put a 1-inch insulation board for the stucco. So the sheetrock will go on the steel framing. So basically there's going to be sheetrock on the wall, then the steel framing will go on, and then the sheetrock is going to go on top of that. And then there's going to be 1-inch insulation board that's going to go on, and the stucco is going to go ahead and go on top of that, and then they're going to color coat on top of that. Those three square areas at the top, those are not scuppers, which would mean that those are like roof drains. Those are for artistic purposes. Those are going to go ahead and be framed out, and they'll be stuccoed on the inside. Our company will also, that brown metal cap on the top, about 20 feet of that on the top of that area, that'll be taken off, not going to be able to be reused. It'll have a 20 gauge steel clip that'll go, once that's all framed out, that steel clip will go on, and then the coping will go on. We are going to go ahead and we'll put a nailer board on that. So on top of that wall, there'll be a 2x, that's about 8, however wide that is. It's going to be about 24 inches because it's going to come back onto the roof section itself. So there'll be a wood on top of that wall where we'll nail a clip, and then we'll go ahead and we'll put that steel cap back on, and that steel cap will clip onto that clip, the brown metal cap will clip onto that clip, and then you roll it back, and then you'll fasten it in the back side of that metal cap. So, and then also where you see that wall comes down into behind that concrete sidewalk, Now that area is an area of dirt, about 40 square feet of dirt. We're going to go ahead and fill that in with concrete, so there would no longer be a dirt area against the wall. And you can see in the other pictures that it was just a small area. Most of the concrete went right into the building, except for that small area by the entry. I guess they were using that as a little flower area, but obviously that didn't work out. That caught the building on fire for whatever reason. It caught on fire. So we got this all put together. We're going to go ahead and have to put a dumpster out there, throw all the sheetrock and old framing into. We're going to have a man lift delivered out there. We're going to have that delivered. It'll be about a week. We'll rent that for 1 week because renting it by the day is pretty expensive. We're going to be out there about a 1 week time. You have to pay for that to be dropped off and picked up, and you get a lot better rate renting it by the week. But it looks like from our estimate that we have about 2, 3. It's like we got 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 days there. So we've got 1 week of working on this thing. The wood guys are not going to need. They're not going to need a man lift for that. But everybody, the stucco guys, the framing all day, they're going to need that man lift out there for the week. So we have everything put together here, and it looks like the total is going to be about 148 man hours on this project. And that's with management, getting the materials put together, getting everything done, coordinated, put out there, finished, and put back together. So it looks like it's like a 1 week project. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw these pictures up, have a lot of notation on these pictures. You can see there's no confusion of what we want done with the steel framing, the sheetrock, and the different things where the wood is going to go, so there's no confusion with us or the crew or the customer. It was